so much for agreeing to judge at our forensics tournament this weekend. In this judging guide, we're going over the how-tos of the judging process, so please check out all of the other videos that are linked in your judge's guide so that you know the ins and outs of how to judge at this tournament. So the first thing that we're going to talk about in this video is how competition actually works to provide you that context necessary to really understand your role and what it is that you're going to be doing for us. So the first thing to note is that forensics does consist of both debate and individual events. But in this guide, we are only focused on how to judge individual events where students are preparing individual performances, whether those are speeches or selections from literature, and performing those to advance to final rounds and eventually earn a championship. Debate is an entirely separate part of forensics, and if you want to learn more about how to judge debate, please contact your tournament host or director for more information. So let's talk about the individual events side of forensics for just a minute. Individual events are broken down into three genres. The first is limited preparation events, where students haven't really had time to prepare before they get to the competition. They receive a prompt and are expected to have a short amount of time to prepare a speech. Examples of limited preparation events include extemporaneous speaking and impromptu speaking. We've also got the prepared speeches. We call those public address events. This includes things like informative speaking or persuasive speaking, what we typically associate with a speech that you might give in a classroom performance. Except these speeches are a maximum of 10 minutes long and have other criteria that can be found in your judging guide in the events description section. And then finally, there's oral interpretation of literature. Students are going to be making selections of literature and performing those for you as a judge. We break those down by genre of literature, and once again, you can find more information in the event descriptions part of your judging guide as to what exactly to expect out of this type of event. So the way that our tournaments are set up is that we have a series of preliminary rounds, usually 2 or 3, and then based on how students perform in that preliminary round, they advance to the final round. So in preliminary rounds, we set students into groups of 6. Since most of our events are a maximum of 10 minutes, only having 6 students compete at one time ensures that your round doesn't last much more than an hour and makes your job a whole lot easier. So within that round of 6, you're going to be watching each of the performances, providing students feedback on a written ballot, and then assigning a rank and a rate to each of those students. For more information on how to fill out your ballot and what ranks and rates actually mean, check out the video or section of your judging guide that goes over that part of the judging process. Now, once that preliminary round is done, students will typically go to another preliminary round. We usually have 2 or 3 and perform the same event for a different judge and a different set of competitors. This allows us to judge these students on multiple performances and hopefully eliminate any sort of bias that may occur. It is completely okay to be subjective in this judging process. There's not really an objective approach to forensics. It's all based on your opinion. So the type of feedback that you offer really is based on your opinion. You're qualified, trust us, and please check out the video on how to provide feedback for more information on what's helpful for our students, what types of things are good to include on a ballot, as well as what types of comments to avoid. Now, once those preliminary rounds are finished, our tabulation staff will calculate the ranks and rates based on those preliminary performances and pull the top 6 performers into a final round. Those performers will compete against each other in a final round, and then final placings are assigned based on their performance in that final round alone. For a final round, you are typically on a panel of other judges. We normally have 3 judges in a final round to evaluate students, but in a preliminary round, it's more than likely that you're going to be the only one. So it's really important that you understand what your role is and how to facilitate these rounds so that our competition can run on time and students can have a positive experience. That's essentially how forensics competition works. Students have prepared these events, they perform them for you, you judge them in these small groups of 6 students at a time, provide that feedback, ranks and rates, and then we use those to calculate final results. One final thing to note is that you may be thinking, yeah, but aren't these students part of a team? How does the team earn awards from all of this? Well, just like in track and field or gymnastics, students are able to earn points for their team based on their individual performances. So we do also give team awards at our competition, and we use the rankings of the students in their individual events in order to calculate that. That's a basic overview of how a tournament works. Once again, check out the other videos and your judging guide for more specific information about the process and what you need to do to help this tournament run smoothly.